In an incident that has drawn widespread attention across various sectors of society, an Irish woman made an unexpected appearance by interrupting a prayer ceremony held at the iconic Croke Park Stadium in Dublin. Her actions, seen by many as highly symbolic, have been interpreted by some as a firm stand in defense of Ireland's deeply rooted Christian heritage. Over 700 Muslim worshippers had gathered at the venue to mark Eid al-Adha, one of the most significant religious observances in the Islamic calendar. This sacred festival commemorates the moment when Ibrahim, a revered figure in both Islam and Christianity, was prepared to sacrifice his son as the ultimate act of obedience to divine will. The event took place inside Croke Park, a site imbued with national symbolism, not only the home of treasured sporting memories but also a powerful cultural landmark for the Irish people. While the atmosphere inside the stadium was largely calm and respectful, outside, a small group of peaceful demonstrators had assembled. They stood silently as attendees arrived, making their presence known without disruption. Among those present was Sheikh Dr. Umar al-Qadri, a leading figure in Ireland's Muslim community and current head of the Irish Muslim Council. He briefly exchanged a polite good morning with a few protesters before proceeding inside to lead the prayer. However, just as the call to prayer began to echo through the stadium speakers, an unexpected moment captured the attention of everyone present. A woman from the crowd stood up, holding a rosary in her hand, and began to loudly recite the Hail Mary, one of the most iconic and cherished prayers in Catholicism. Her voice broke through the solemnity of the proceedings, creating a scene charged with emotion. For some, it was a bold expression of faith; for others, a misplaced disruption. Yet, it undeniably served as a powerful reminder of the Christian legacy that has shaped Irish cultural identity for centuries. Moments later, security personnel approached her. She was escorted from the venue as she cried out repeatedly and defiantly, "Shame!" a word that made her disapproval clear, at least from her own point of view. This incident has triggered a wave of reactions across Ireland and beyond. Social media platforms, news outlets, and public forums have become battlegrounds of diverging opinions. For a portion of the population, particularly among those who identify as Irish patriots, her actions were not a disruption, but a courageous stand for the Christian foundations of the nation. They argue that in a society rapidly evolving toward a multicultural and secular model, it is essential to remember, preserve, and honor the traditions that have shaped the nation's identity over generations. From their perspective, the Christian values and principles that have long formed the spiritual heart of Ireland must not be sidelined, especially in spaces of such national and cultural significance as Croke Park. This underlying tension between tradition and diversity, between ancestral faith and modern pluralism, has ignited an important national conversation about how identity is negotiated in present-day Ireland. In this video, I'll walk you through exactly what happened during that controversial moment. But before we dive into the details, if you too believe in protecting the customs that help shape your culture and think it's important to reflect on the path Ireland is currently taking, we invite you to like this video and subscribe to the channel, so we can continue exploring these deeply important issues together. We hear the declaration, we bear witness that there is no God but Allah, and that Muhammad, peace and blessings be upon him, is his messenger and the greatest mercy to all of creation. In the midst of this solemn atmosphere, the woman emerges. She wears a traditional, elegant outfit, clearly chosen with care. From the outset, it is evident that her appearance was not spontaneous, but rather a deliberate, premeditated act. Her expression is serious and resolute. With the rosary in hand, she begins to pray aloud with unwavering conviction. Her voice rings out clearly, "Hail Mary, full of grace." The contrast between the two expressions of faith is striking. There is no violence, but the tension is palpable, spiritual, cultural, symbolic. Security responds quickly but calmly. She is escorted towards the exit. As she goes, her voice rises once more with a single word that reverberates through the stadium, "Shame." For some, her cry reflects desperation. For others, defiance and courage. This moment has left a mark. Not only for the act itself, but for what it revealed, the complexity of coexistence in a modern Ireland that is no longer monolithic, a nation now shaped by many cultures, religions, and worldviews. But must openness to diversity mean silencing the traditions that gave birth to a nation? Or is there a way to strike a balance where all voices can be heard without any being erased? These are the difficult, but necessary, questions many societies are facing today. And in Ireland, they've taken tangible form in a stadium that symbolizes both the nation's proud past and its uncertain future. This platform exists to encourage respectful dialogue, to debate from a place of understanding, and to build a shared vision of the Ireland we wish to see in the years to come. Because beyond this single event lies a far deeper issue. How does a nation with ancient roots confront the challenges of the 21st century? Ireland, once known as the land of saints and scholars, has long been a stronghold of Christianity, its identity forged through centuries of struggle, belief, and perseverance. But like many Western societies, it now finds itself at a crossroads. Is it possible to move forward without erasing our past? Can a society become more inclusive without dissolving the foundations on which it stands? These are not easy questions, but ignoring them only breeds resentment and a growing sense of disconnection between who we were and who we are becoming. Some see multiculturalism as a threat, others see it as an opportunity. But both ends of that spectrum could learn from each other if there is a willingness to listen. The incident at Croke Park, though brief, exposed the deep tension between the desire for openness and the need to protect what gives people meaning and belonging. And perhaps it is in that very tension that the most important conversation of all is being born, the one that will determine which version of Ireland is passed on to future generations. You, as a citizen, as an observer, as someone who feels part of this story or is simply interested in it, have a role to play. The shaping of a national narrative doesn't lie solely with governments or institutions. It happens in every gesture, every word, every choice we make. That's why we encourage you to stay involved. Share this video if you believe more people should take part in this conversation. Leave a comment, whatever your viewpoint, as long as it comes from a place of respect. Subscribe if you want to keep exploring topics that touch the cultural and spiritual fabric of Ireland. We'll see you in the next video.